Hello friends and welcome back to my homestead. Today I would like to introduce you to these very common flowers called marigolds. These guys are in particular are African marigolds. I already harvested a nice little pile here. There's some very dark one with very orange, almost brown, maroon tinge. And these are very orangey. Then we have very yellow ones. There's so many different shades. The common names are French marigolds, African marigolds, you name it, marigolds. Well, I am harvesting them right now in October here in New England because I want to preserve some of these herbs. And I believe, or at least that's what I've learned, is that the darker the better. So I'm not going to harvest those pale yellows. I'm taking only the dark ones, and the darker the better, because they contain this substance that's called lutein. Now, we do not produce lutein in our bodies naturally, yet we require for many cellular function. Okay, so I'm gonna leave them here on the towel just for an hour or two, and that will allow, if there are any kind of little bugs, those little bugs will crawl out, because I really don't want to wash these flowers. I want to keep them as they are. So I'm just gonna leave them here in a towel, and this will allow a lot of these unwanted bugs to crawl out, and then I can process my marigolds. Okay friends, so this has been about an hour that my beautiful little marigolds been sitting here on the counter, and ideally this would be nice to do outdoors. So if any kind of little bug crawled out, you know, just kind of dispose of it outdoors. But it's getting really cold this afternoon. It's end of October after all. So, and I really needed to harvest these beautiful guys. So in my language, marigolds are called barhatsi. Barhatsi because they are like velvet. Like barhat is like velvety, kind of like super soft and fragrant flower. And as I mentioned to you already, we grow them on the edges of our gardens, in all the vegetable beds, and it helps to bring the good pollinators. It helps to deter bad little bugs, sort of thing. Now, I don't know all the details, but I do know that marigolds are medicinal as well. And so I am harvesting there today. So what am I going to do? So they've been laying out here on the towel for about an hour and a half already. And they haven't started wilting, not even close to it. But yes, I will be drying most of them, and some of them I will be just wilting. But first I need to separate this green part from the flower itself, because this is a bitter part. Okay, so I started separating them already, and see these beautiful little petals, because that's all we need is a little tiny petals that is in the flower. So some people cut them, literally take scissors and they cut them right here. I just literally break them off. So if I hold and I break it off like that, and it's done, and I dump. So if you look inside of it, actually, that's where they contain their seed. Let me show you. Oh, the aroma in my kitchen right now is unbelievable. They have these beautiful seeds. And you know what they remind me of is quills on the porcupine. That's what they look like. But those are tiny little seeds, okay? So I'm not saving seeds right now. All I'm doing is I am separating the petals from this bitter green thing. Now, okay, since I mentioned the bitterness, some people like to use them in a culinary, fresh in salads, petals, like something like that. I'll be honest with you, I really don't like it that much in culinary, because they do have very pungent smell, very strong smell. They're not like mild flowers of any kind. But they also can be used as a poor man saffron, because when they dry up, you can use them in rice, to color the rice as a poor man's saffron, because as you guys know, saffron is super, super expensive. But in my case, I am going to be saving them for medicinal purposes. So I'm going to infuse a little bit of them in oil to make a salve. And a salve, so when we have like cracked skin or a little bit of eczema, so it's really good to use them in a salve as like a lotion type of thing. So as a dry herb, you can be used in infusion, in teas, but also they can be dried, pulverized, and taken as powder. You can actually order capsules with marigold powder in it. And the reason why people take it is because it's rich in lutein. Now lutein, as I think I mentioned this already in this video, but it is used to help as an anti-inflammatory and to help the healthy eye. Have your parents ever tell you, eat your carrots, you're gonna see well, it's gonna give you good eyesight? Well, there's some truth to it, but it's simply because bright colored vegetables have lutein in it. This is rich in lutein, and we really, really need it. There's some lutein in egg yolks, so we would have to eat a lot of egg yolks, or we can just put this in our tea on a daily basis. And it's a good protection for the eye. It protects from the UV damage, UV light damage of the eye. So therefore it helps to protect against cataract. I have read some testimonials of people who said that they've been using this all the time, and it really helps them to rejuvenate their vision. Now, I don't know, that's just testimonials. It's not like a research or anything. So I'm gonna keep breaking this stuff off, and I'm going to put everything on my dehydrating trays. I have this dehydrator. I'm gonna put it on dehydrating trays. And I'm gonna choose the lowest setting I have, the lowest setting possible. I'm just gonna recommend to you guys that if you are walking through a park or a public square and you see a bunch of marigolds growing, probably not a good place to harvest, because we always want to harvest in the environmentally, oh, not taking this one. Oh, it still has a bug on it. No, go over here. All right, so let me keep breaking everything up, and then I'll show you what a finished product looks like. Okay, so my marigolds are nice and dry. It really took probably about 4 to 5 hours to dry them, but I totally forgot them and they were drying overnight, which is still okay. But so at this point, I'm going to store them in a glass container. I already labeled it, okay? And I'm gonna store it in my pantry where it's nice and dark and cool. I can use this in my tea, but I also am going to infuse some oils with it so I can use it in my salve for external uses. Okay friends, so I've got myself some marigolds here. On this note, thank you for watching. I hope you are learning something new about herbs, about herbal flowers. So grow some marigolds, harvest them, dry them, and use them. So I hope you are encouraged and you try something new.